what's up guys? This is day 10 of trading the 2 million Rand funded account and doing this challenge with you every step of the way, right? So today we caught a beautiful trade on GU, just hitting our account back to break even. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the trade I took, the reason why I took it, and how I managed it too. Again, it's a B grade idea, so I'm going to explain the different grades and how we're grading ideas on a day-to-day basis in terms of risk. So let's just jump straight into the video. So first things first, what do we always want to identify is flows. Now, if we look on the high time frame, ideally we are looking at a bullish momentum here, right? And then coming to the Edgeville stats, again, I'm recording this 2 days later. So the Edgeville stats was in our favor in terms of buys, okay? So let's see how price starts to react. We get a beautiful momentum, kind of pushing above. Now, one thing we need to keep in mind, again, right, is the monthly candle just opened up. This is the 2nd of October when we did take this position. Price started to extend itself back upwards, right? And then we broke above overnight high. So ideally, our entry position would have probably been over here. Okay, so remember, if you've seen in most of my videos, we identify 3 types of value areas: overnight high, right, overnight low, and then Asian range mid-range. Okay, so that's the 50 equilibrium of the Asian range that has been developed. Okay, so ideally our demand area is kind of chilling quite beautifully at the 50 equilibrium zone, aligning with the EMA on the 5. And if we drop down maybe to the 15 or jump up to the 15, we can see that it aligns quite nicely with the 15 as well. Okay, so now let's go drop back down to the 5 minute. We want to see how price is going to react. So ideally, price kind of stalls out at the overnight high. We get an extension already, almost missing the trade idea. The 5 minute EMA is way off. 15 minute EMA is way off. So yes, in terms of the Edgeville stats, we did get a break above overnight high. And the stats for Edgeville was 81% green candle day. And if it broke below, it would have been 79% red candle day. So the stats were bullish in terms of this idea. But there was a few things that happened. So we saw price kind of pull all the way back. Ideally, at this point, we are not going to enter a position simply because, right? Simply because of the fact that we had a beautiful extension, price was kind of stalling out and then rotating lower, and our EMA wasn't there. 15 minute EMA was already extended, so we weren't really much aligned with this idea. So price has extended itself, and these are the red flags and the idea that we don't really want to look for buys now because of this massive bearish momentum coming into the market here. The next thing that we can identify is if we jump down to the 10 minute, right? If we go to the 10 minute, draw out a little demand supply area, right? So we entered our position at this point here. We were risking 0.25%, so not even 0.5% on this idea because it was already B grade, 0.25% to make 0.5%. So ideally that would have been 1 to 3, right? So this was our take profit at this point, and then waiting to see that extension to the downside. We saw beautiful momentum just come in and hit that take profit. Now, ideally, the difference between our A grade, B grade, and C grade ideas, B grade is 10 to 1, where we're putting a lot less risk on. Remember, not every trade idea you have to put on full risk. This idea definitely was B grade for me because one, we weren't really retesting the overnight high. We did see a nice break on the 5 minute and 10 minute EMA, retesting back into that supply zone. And then we still kind of had the 50 equilibrium value area to, keep in mind, especially after this little crack and little pullback. The momentum was definitely bearish, and we needed to see price obviously extend itself down. If we jump to the higher time frames, we can see the price is kind of stalling out at that area, not really breaking those highs. So there was most definitely going to be some sell-off momentum, especially if we look at that 30-minute EMA, how it was hanging. After price pulls back, price was hanging quite aggressively there on that 30-minute, and then we cracked below, and then obviously we see that extension. Just to show you where price actually all the way went. I mean, this thing dipped very much to the lows there of the previous weekly lows. So that is quite interesting to see. We could have held the trade a little bit longer and made more profit, but I think we just wanted to bring the account back to break even. This is obviously the profits that we made on the idea, right? Bring the account right back to break even to start point. Remember, this is a past funded account. As I said, we're going to wait till the payout. We are aiming for about a 60 grand profit, so we're risking 0.5 to make 20k, risking 0.5% to make 1% on each idea. So it takes us three trades just because they do have a small little consistency rule. Okay, so Our daily target on a day is 20K, okay? And if we can hit 20K 3 times in a row, we'll get a 50,000 Rand payout from this prop firm. We can push for more. I mean, I'm just trying to keep it small for now, something short, just to show you I will receive the payouts, money in my bank, and then I want to show you how to allocate that money into investments if the series does pretty well. I see the videos are picking up, so make sure to like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell. I hope you did learn something from this video in terms of grading ideas and not putting full risk on every single idea that you do or have developed. Right? Important to understand that if you can just manage your risk and manage the type of entries that you have in terms of lot size and risk, you really will stay ahead of the market. If you have a strict plan in your trading, right, you will identify that, hey, you're going to get these A+ setups, meaning these perfect setups that looks exactly to your plan. And on those ideas, of course, put 1% risk on. But any idea below that standard, let's so call it, don't put on full risk straight off the bat. I usually put on 0.5% risk in the beginning and then let the thing run a little bit of pips just to get some confirmation on the idea, and then put another 0.5% on to entirely enter that 1% risk. Yes, your win ratio, your profit won't be as much as if you originally just put the 1% risk on entirely, but you're saving yourself money if you do potentially take a loss, because you can cut that position at 0.25% and not even take a 0.5% loss on the idea, which in my mind, in my mentality, is actually good, in terms of my trading style and what I'm going for. So yeah, I hope you learned something. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn that notification bell. I really do appreciate the support. This channel is growing at a rapid pace. If you have any videos that you want me to do on a specific topic, please comment down below. I look at the comments every single day and I want to see what video next you guys would enjoy. But anyways, peace out.